A brief history of dance. Dancing in its most archaic form as movement is one of the oldest forms of social encounter and expression Homo sapiens performs. Paintings and imprints found in caves give room to the presumption that rhythmic skipping movements were part of the Stone Age culture at least since 12,000 before Christ. Of course, bearing in mind that dancing at those times had more resemblance to urban dance floor thrashing than to the complex group dances of our times. Beginnings of pair and group dances are documented for a much later period at around 5000 BC. Not before the Middle Ages can one speak of real ballroom dances. These followed strict and delicately elaborate rules and could only be perfectly performed with a lot of practice. The Church took good care that these gatherings were chaste and pious. She even created its own dances, called sacral dances. The farmers and lower classes, however, did not care too much about these rules. Watched by a disapproving church, dancing in those walks of life was a vent for the hardships of a life often not free. Our modern-day pair dancing is a mixture of both, the aristocratic court dances and the more coarse farmers' dances. While at the aristocratic dances the participants always kept a well-paced and prudish distance, men and women at the farmers' dance sprang exuberantly around each other. Putting one's arm around each other and keeping a mutual close contact here simply came naturally. As time went by and with the barriers between classes slowly opening up, both dance styles started to mix. Dancing, until then mostly a private party, became a mass movement, and from the 15th century on, more and more so-called dancing houses as public meeting points for dance enthusiasts opened up their doors. In 1661, King Louis XIV even founded the first dancing academy. With the erosion of the class system and the beginning of the industrialization, dancing became a mass phenomenon, which gave birth to a constant flow of new steps and figures. The Foxtrot shown on this DVD is the standard dance among dance schools as such, since it is very easily learned but also allows a quite amazing array of interesting variations. Characteristically for the Foxtrot are the rhythmic determined walking steps and the fast and small side steps. In combination with the zigzag leading and the easily learned turns, the Foxtrot remains one of the most popular common dances in the world, even after nearly 100 years. The disco fox, also portrayed on this DVD, has its roots in the beat fox of the 70s, which itself has its roots in the Foxtrot. At about the same time as the disco fox, the hustle, disco hustle, and Latin hustle was founded in America. Some of the figures used there succeeded in crossing the Atlantic and found slightly changed entrance into the disco fox. Contrary to the Foxtrot, steps are used at the disco fox mostly for turns while moving and while standing still. Today the disco fox has melted with the American hustle to the disco fox hustle, and is as a true classic hard to imagine not to be part of the world dancing program. Now there, please enjoy this learning DVD and two of the greatest dancers in the world.